welcome back to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry. This is Blue. Did you hear that grunt? Oh my goodness, the grunts and the groans. You sound like me. You're just a little old guy, aren't you? Well, you still seem young to me. You don't show your age as bad as I show mine. Let's just say that. Yeah? Blue had to be by himself a long time on Sunday. And he did so good. He's such a good boy. He just waited the whole time. Yes, he did. He was so good. Were you a good boy, Blue? Were you a good boy? Yeah. It's dark here already. Not already. Well, yeah, already. It's starting to get dark sooner now. So, this is my first time in here today. It's Sunday. And it's dark, so I just left the blinds down from when I was in here last. And, yeah. You ready for a nap? I bet you're not. He's probably been napping all day, waiting for us to get home. He's a good boy. Okay, let's go. Groan, 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 groan. Look at my new shirt. Well, it's not a new shirt. It says, be the most colorful quilter Hue, H-U-E, can be. Haha. This is from Quilt Week. I got this at Paducah. Long sleeve. I'm just now wearing it because it's just now cool enough to wear it. So, wonderful, wonderful weather here still. Cool in the mornings and about 70 something in the afternoon. So very nice. I don't know how long it's going to hold out, but I'm enjoying it. I really am. The things that I got done this weekend were, I'll put a picture right here of what I got done on peach preserves. Those two hunks of things that are hanging on the bottom of the photo there are the edge pieces. So there's 5 on each side. So I got all 10 of those done. And then I got 5 of those pyramids done. And I kind of just, locked them in place on the design board over there so that you can kind of see how it's going to go together. I almost have a complete star. One more little wedge there and I'll have a complete star there with the peach all the way around it. So this is it's turned out to be a more tedious of a project than I thought it would be. Like I've got 2, 4, 5 of those done. I need to make 35. So I need to do 30 more of those pyramids. And they are made in 2 sections before you put them together. So it's a 2-part thing for each pyramid, which is not a big deal, but it just takes a little more time. So I'm just going to continue working on that as I get time. I'll do a few here and there in between everything else that I want to work on. I did get my 2 blockheads done, and I'm using Tilda Hibernation as usual. Well, this shows up pretty good in the camera. I was going to say my kind of burgundy-ish star there in the center wasn't really showing up, but with the correct lighting on it, you can see it. And I did fussy cut the partridge there. And I'm getting really low on this fabric. I've got some of just about everything left, but it's small pieces. So I think there's 7 more blocks after these 2 current ones that I got done. So this was called, what did I call this? Sweet Pea by Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life. And then this one is called Wholehearted. And I hope you can now see with the extra light on this, it makes it harder to see. But that's a heart. And yes, those are turned the right way. It's kind of a faceted looking heart. So there's no rhyme or reason to which direction the darker triangles are headed. So this is exactly what the pattern shows. So I had to use, you know, one of my lighter ones here, which blends in a little bit with the background, but I don't know. It's a nice change from the deeper ones. I think it'll be fine in there. So I think these are 25 blocks. I don't know. That one's called Wholehearted, and it's by Jackie McDonald of Sweetfire Road. And like I say, I'm running out of tilde there in that hibernation line. Okay, so the other thing that I finished was the flowering block. And you can see I'm using a kind of a, I don't know. It's not really cream on cream. It's kind of like cream on tan or tan on cream. I thought it looked pretty cool though. It was like a fern leaf. And I put that behind the flower. This is what they have for the flower. And I did use the gold, or, you know, some form of yellow. And then instead of the red, I'm using the purplish color, violet color. So this is the 6th block. So we're halfway done with this. It's calling Filling Freesia block. So I got that done for the month. That comes in the Sew Sampler box. So we have 6 of these. Also, I'm running low on different fabrics for this. There again, I still have some of all of it, but these blocks are so big, they're 18 and a half unsewn or unfinished. So, you know, I'm using a lot of fabric every time I pull out fabric to do these. So this is the Floret from Riley Blake. And I had a fat quarter bundle of, I think, 12 fat quarters. 10 or 12. I think it was 12. And so, I'm hoping I can get 6 more blocks out of that. I might end up getting some green. The lighter green than this, I've used almost all of it. And now I've almost used all of this green. So I may need to find a piece of green. Something like it in my stash. You know, has the same little pattern. Something similar. Or order some if I can find it. It's kind of old. So I don't know if I can find it or not. That's what I did this weekend for sewing. Not too bad. Not too bad. I had a busy weekend. Like I said, I was gone all day Sunday today. And then yesterday I had a party. So I was gone for 3 or 4 hours there. And yeah, that cut into my sewing time. But that's okay. We have things to do. Sewing a little every day is the goal, right? We don't have to make an entire quilt in one day, which will never happen in my case. Let's see. I wanted to go through, well, first I want to mention recent acquisitions. I don't have any other than I ordered a 90 wide by 40 yard roll of cotton batting, getting ready for the extravaganza. So that came. So I wasn't going to drag that up here and show you. I mean, just imagine a box about yay tall and about this big around, and it had a big roll of batting in it. So that's down there with the long arm where it needs to be. I don't think I got anything else in the mail or anything like that. So I do have a couple things coming. You'll probably see those next Monday. And I really didn't finish talking about No Buy October last week. I started talking about No Buy months and decided, hey, I've not been spending that much. looked at my bank account, I didn't see where I was spending all that much, but I had, you know, stuff that came in last week that I showed you. But I didn't really say, am I doing a no buy October? I guess I'm not. I don't know. I'm just not buying as much anymore. I don't feel the need to restrict myself that much right now. So, I don't know. If I see something I think I will definitely use later, and it's really good on sale, I'll get it. That's kind of my modus operandi now. I think that's how you say that. My way of doing things. So I don't have anything else to show you there. I just got that big thing of batting. I did get this. This is the American Quilter, which is put out by the, AmericanQuilter.com, which is American Quilt Society. And so I wanted to go over with you some things in this. Not a whole lot. This may be a short video as well because I am tired. And I don't want to get into anything real technical or you know, show you how to do something or anything like that right now. So I'm just going to show you a few things in this magazine. Not a lot. But we'll just kind of scan through and see what are some of the juicy stuff, the stuff we like, the patterns and things like that. The Did You Know is about leaves. It's written by the Benny Family Curator, New England Quilt Museum. And the Did You Know is, did you know that nature around us, flowers, trees, landscapes, seascapes, is often the inspiration for making quilts? Why, yes, we did. In traditional, modern, and art quilts, leaves are a popular motif and can be the focus of the design or play a supporting role. They're nearly as common in applique as any other motif and often become the star of the show for some artists. Here are some examples of that. There's one that's just green leaves, and then we see an art quilt or two over there with leaves featured. Look at this one. This is interesting, isn't it? It's kind of like a wintry scene with one big leaf. So leaves are popular right now because of fall. You know, there's the maple leaf that you can find easily a free pattern on how to do a maple leaf, make a table runner or a fall quilt, and it's great. Do it up in those really fall-ish colors. And speaking of fall-ish colors, this one is called Foliage, but look how that's done. Not a leaf on that, but every color that a leaf can turn is in that quilt, isn't it? I think that's pretty cool. It's called Foliage by Stacy Day. So there is a pattern in here on that with all the instructions. We have a flash of red, and this is part of the Mystery Quilt Clue 5 of 5. So this is the end of the mystery quilt. But look, you could take that and make a quilt all on its own. Do one cardinal with one of your favorite block inside of it and make a wall hanging out of it, or any sort of table mat or something like that. Very nice for winter. Or if you are a U of L Louisville Cardinal fan, you might want something made up out of this. I think that's a fine looking cardinal there. Yes, and pretty simple to make, I would think. Not too many pieces for that. All the instructions are there to make a quilt with 9 different cardinal blocks. There's also a article and somewhat of a pattern here on reclaiming quilts to be used for a jacket or a quilt coat. And you can see in this here how if you find a quilt that looks like this, this might be how you want to arrange your pieces of your jacket. Sleeves, the back, the front, left and right, the collar. So there's information on that. Factors to consider: symmetry and balance. See, that's the thing about doing it, is if you have a quilt like that, how in the world do you lay your pieces out to make it make sense? You know, if it's just a little small patchwork all over, not a big deal. You can kind of lay them anywhere. But if it's a quilt like that, then you kind of have to think about it a little bit more. That's a good tip. And then there are all of the best in show quilts, a best of show quilt, and other best of the AQS Quilt Week show in Grand Rapids, Michigan in this issue. So all of those are in here. Here's another good winter pattern. This is called Clio Rose. Clio Rose. That would be done up good in those cherry wood fabrics, wouldn't it? Get a selection of blues from cherry wood and put that together. Be nice. Let's see, how big is it? 28 by 28, not too big. Yeah, that's it is a little bit, no, that's, yeah, it is paper pieced. So that's interesting. Something to try, not too awfully difficult. There's an article on stippling. So, quilting with confidence. Stippling, a stitching pattern that can grow with you. Yeah, stippling is very small, squiggly. You can get good at that if you spend the time on it. Okay, I think that's it from the magazine that I wanted to show. And I also want to tell you that if you go on, I always say it wrong, www.americanquilter.com and get a membership, you get this magazine automatically with your membership. And you can also go back and get older digital versions of the magazine from before. They keep those out there forever, and you can download them and get all the patterns. So the membership is around $30-ish, and then anything that comes up on the email that they're selling, either they themselves or if they refer you to a quilt shop or something, there are discounts. So it's kind of a maybe one that gets overlooked sometimes, but there's a lot more advantages to having a membership with American Quilt Society. Sometimes you can use that membership card in your local quilt shop if they honor like guilds and things like that. I've used mine before in a local quilt shop, not on this side of the river, but in Louisville. They asked me one day, I was checking out, and they said, do you belong to any guilds or clubs or anything like that? I said, well, I'm a member of the American Quilt Society, and I had my card with me, so I don't even know if she looked at my card, but I got some kind of % off of my purchase. So, you know, if you get a magazine subscription and all those back issues of magazines with patterns that can be downloaded, I'm thinking it's quite a deal. Something to think about. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the art quilt of the week, and I'll put a picture right here. And it's called tiles, tapestry, and a teal tail. It's 33 by 46 by Tammy Graber of Tucson, Arizona. This quilt is another example of how quilting inspiration can come from pretty much anywhere. Tammy took inspiration for this particular design from the shape of a hexagon tile mirror. While this is a creative approach, Tammy found it kind of difficult to stitch on the faux leather borders and not make any mistakes along the way. Some of the other things Tammy was able to use for this quilt were thread and hand painting, whole cloth, and paint shadowing. Tammy had this quilt featured in a book released in 2023 called Stitched Journeys with Birds, Inspiration to Let Your Creativity Take Flight by Martha Seelman. She's also shown the quilt in several shows, including an AQS Quilt Week show. So this is very, very artistic and creative. I love the tile blocks. Aren't those amazing? I wonder if she actually, let's see, tiles, tapestry, and a teal tail. She took inspiration from the shape of a hexagon tile mirror and took inspiration from, she says, this is an example of how you can take inspiration from anywhere. I'm wondering if the tiles were tiles that she actually had seen somewhere. And the big four tiles, the corner tiles, those are tiles too. And then the faux leather on the sides. Interesting. And then we see that's it doesn't say it's a panel. It could be, and then she just did all of that thread painting on there and the other sorts of painting that she mentioned. Or it could be something she drew and then thread painted. I'm not sure I understand fully if that's, what happened. But very, very artsy. So very good. Get inspiration from everywhere. You ever look down at a floor in a hotel or something and say, that should be a quilt pattern? Or some sort of tiles, configuration of tiles on a wall somewhere in a fancy bathroom. Yeah, we can get inspiration from those places and come back, write a pattern, and get rich. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody gets rich off of selling quilt patterns, I don't think. Okay, so that is what we have for today. A little bit shorter. Thanks for letting me rest a little bit. And I'm going to continue on with all the fun projects this week. I do know that my designer mystery should be here soon, and I'll be anxious to do that. I don't know what I have. I don't have anything planned for Wednesday. There will be something, even if it's just a sew along with me type of day. I don't know. I haven't done one of those in a couple of months, so I might do something like that. Yeah, you just have to tune back in on Wednesday and see what it is. And then we'll see you on Friday, see what I got done, and see what some of you got done. So thanks for tuning in today. Sew something this week. Sew a little bit every day if you can. And until then, have fun sewing. Bye.